Hey Moose, tell everybody welcome back to the Montana Garage. We're glad you came back. Let's talk about some, whoa, hello. In today's video, we're gonna do three different things. We're gonna talk about some parts that showed up for the 55 Chevy frame. You see some leaf springs there. There's a box back there in the corner. I don't know if you can see it from there. It says Calvert Racing on it. Yeah, buddy, good stuff. We'll talk about all the stuff that showed up and the plans with that. We will get back over here on the 55 and we're gonna continue cleaning the inside of the car out, and we have the nasty, possibly asbestos-ridden insulation up on the lid of the car that was partially hanging down, so I decided to rip that out of there for some reason, I guess just to make my life hard. So we're gonna handle that. And then, if you stick around to the very end of the video, we are gonna talk about the DD Speed Shop 57 Chevy. I'm getting tons of questions about that. Do you have the car? Are you still getting the car? When are you gonna get the car? What are you doing with the car? All that good stuff. Well, if you stick around to the end of the video, like I said, we're gonna talk about that. I have some details getting closer to set in stone. I messaged Dan the other day and we are working on a plan, and I will let you know what that plan is, when I expect the 57 Chevy to get here, how it's getting here, and what we're gonna do with it. So stick around to the end and you'll find out all the steamy details. It's another day out here in the shop, and today is a good day because look, we got new parts. That's right, it's new parts day. We got goodies from Calvert Racing. This is most of the rear suspension setup we're gonna have in the 55. On top here we got a pair of their mono leaf springs. These are a 2-inch drop, single leaf spring. I guess they're lighter weight than the standard leaf spring pack, and just supposed to be a good addition to their CalTrack setup. I'm a little bit leery with these. A little bit leery of these because they're a drop spring. They have a reverse eye, but they only got one. The rear eye is standard, the front eye is reverse. I've been told by some people that they will not work in the spring pocket kit because of the reverse eye. Calvert Racing assures me that they've sold plenty of these, a bunch of these, for the same setup for 55 to 57 with the spring pocket kit. So I'm going to take their word for it and hope they work. We'll find out soon enough, I guess. Although it'll be a long time before I have all the weight on the car. I guess it'll be easy enough just to put them in there and see how much clearance it looks like we have. Anyways, that's what we got on top. Inside the box, we got more goodies. Upon initial inspection, it looks to me like we should have, this is the spot where you would have a clearance issue, where I've notched this part of the frame here, and then this gets too close and causes some interference. Obviously, we got to have the weight and everything, but hopefully we're going to have enough clearance there. Looks to me like it shouldn't be an issue. These bushings came with the shackle kit or the pocket kit, but these bushings don't go in the leaf spring. But I know with the Calverts, so they have some sort of a metal bushing installed already. I think that's required for this Calvert suspension thing. So I'm not sure if there's going to be another rubber or something that goes in there, because that's much bigger than the little bolt that goes through there. So anyways, I'm getting ready to open the box. We'll see if there's any goodies for that, or instructions, or whatever else I'm missing. And plus, we'll show you what else is inside. Instructions, I'm sure. We'll need those. Yeah, buddy. Calvert Racing got another little banner to hang up. I'll find a cool spot for it. Thanks, guys. Alright, so that's part of the CalTrack. Those guys. See the actual bars. Alright, so there you have something like that. Goes under the rear end. It mounts to the front of the leaf spring somehow. These things are supposed to be legit for getting some traction out of a leaf spring car. It's not going to be making a ton of power anyways, but you know, we want our little bit of power we are going to make to get to the pavement. And then we got some drag race shocks. I got both front and rear shocks right from Calvert. So the rear, which ones are which here. These are the front, so they're a 90-10, so they allow weight transfer. They're going to let the front end go up and kind of hold it up in the air a little bit. So we got shocks, bushings, stickers, of course. I always like getting stickers. You used to always get stickers when you ordered stuff. A lot of people don't send you stickers anymore. I bet you these are probably the bushings I was talking about for inside this leaf spring. Looks like they fit in there, so that's what those are for, I would assume. We got some new U-bolts. Hopefully I got the right ones. And then in here will be the rear shocks. These are, I think, dual adjustable. You can adjust the compression and the dampening. 9-way adjustable. So I'm not smart enough to figure out how to do that, but we'll figure it out. Hopefully I got these right also. I got them a little bit shorter because we are lowering the back a little bit. Got some, looks like we got some instructions with those bad boys. Some more bushings, some more stickers. So that was our parts haul today. I also have coming, probably tomorrow. I've talked about ordering it several times and just haven't ever got it done, but I got the SPI epoxy coming. And as soon as we can keep it 65 degrees in here, we're going to get this frame sprayed. So we can start putting this stuff on there. I got the rear end laying over there, it needs sprayed. We got to put new mounts on it. We can start putting this damn car back together. Finally. All right, scratch most of what I just said about these leaf springs. I could have swore when I called Calvert and talked to them the other day, they told me that these should work because only the front eye is reverse. Maybe I'm remembering wrong, but I could have swore that's what they told me. They do have some pretty good instructions here, it looks like. But in this, it talks about making sure you replace the original bushing in the front spring eye with this metal bushing. Well, their metal bushing is in the standard eye. And then also, if this was in the front, you can see where the little locator for the axle is. If I have it backwards, it's way too far back. So obviously the front eye is the standard eye, and the rear eye is the reverse eye. So that's going to make this a little closer. I'm going to take this back apart and flop it around and then see what kind of clearance it looks like we have. Okay, with the spring flipped around, I can see now where we could possibly have an issue here. I'm hoping that we're not gonna. Probably are gonna. I probably should have listened to the guy that told me it wasn't gonna work. But Calvert says it will, so we're gonna still go with it. Worst comes to worst, I mean, I'm sure I could probably ship them back, but I can also just take a little bit more of this off right here if that's what I have to do. So this is the way it's going to go. The only difference being that I don't have in here right now is this is going to raise just a hair, just because I couldn't get this bushing in there. So this bushing goes in the eye right there, and then also through these guys. And this CalTrack part here, excuse me, I gotta use both my hands to do this, and you just get a look at the concrete. Isn't that nice concrete? There's some cracks, and this went right in when I did it 2 seconds ago. Go figure. Anywho, this is supposed to go through the leaf spring and then through this guy. And apparently it's, like I said, it went right in a second ago. Now it wants to fight me. All right, well, once it goes in, we get her flush on that side. Flush on that side. She's just a smidge proud on that side. This guy here will fit up in the pocket. So it'll fit up into the spring pocket where the spring is, but this bushing won't fit in there. So I'm gonna have to introduce this bushing to Mr. Grinder and just lose a little bit of metal there, clearance that just a smidge. And then once we do that, excuse me with more concrete shots. Well, all right, so again, you see this guy fits up in the pocket and then over the leaf spring and whatnot. So anyways, that was awesome camera work. I'm sure you enjoyed it. But long story short, too late for that, I know, is hopefully we're gonna work. I got distracted by new parts, but I got to get to work if I'm ever going to be able to actually put the parts, you know, onto the car. So, all right, let's get to it.
All right, I'm going in for asbestos sealing. It's probably not asbestos, but I might as well wear the respirator just to be sure, right? Guess I'm gonna pull all this shit out of here, throw it away, and start over with some sort of other mat. Well, that was fun. That's a big giant lie. But about
That mask off. About 80% of this stuff was pretty loose, and about, I don't know, maybe a little more than that, 20-30% was still stuck up there pretty good. But you can see there was just a little bit of surface rust starting. Again, I'm just making things harder than they need to be. I probably didn't need to mess with that, but figured being some of it was flopping down and I could see some surface rust, I'd just pull her down. I'll get this cleaned up. I'm not gonna go crazy up there, but I will hit it with a DA with like 80 grit. Get the surface rust. I'm not gonna worry about getting all that glue residue. You know, some of it will come off obviously when I'm sanding, but I'm not gonna sit there and spend hours getting it all, but I will hit it with the DA with 80 grit. And then get everything cleaned up again. And then once we decide we're warm enough to spray, I can shoot pretty much the whole interior in the SPI black epoxy is my plan, except for the dash. And the windows, obviously, I'll mask all that off, but that's the theory. So I'm gonna put this mask back on again. Like I said, I don't know if I need this with this stuff. It's some sort of bad thing, but no matter what it is, it's probably not good to get a bunch of it in your lungs. So I'll get all this stuff thrown in the garbage and get the old shop back over here and get us cleaned back out. So there we have the floor and the inside cleaned up. I still have to, I scraped all the insulation crap off the lid up there, but I still have to hit that with 80 grit. And then after I do that, or while I do that, I'll just give it all a once over. There may be a few spots I just need to hit with a little bit of Scotch-Brite or whatnot. But I'll try to throw in a like before picture here. I don't know if it looks much different or not, but it's definitely a lot cleaner. Like I said, there's still a little work to do. I can probably scrub down in there a little better. But that's gonna be it for tonight. Next time we will hit the lid up there with some sandpaper on the DA, touch this up like I said, and then at the end of this video we'll talk about what we're doing or what's going on with the DD Speed Shop 57 Chevy. I think I have a plan. All right, we are back in the Montana garage. It's been a few days since we've been out here, and as you can see, it looks a little different. There's no frame sitting there. We were slightly distracted for a few days. We went fishing for a day. That was awesome. Maybe I'll throw some pictures in here. Had a good time. And then we had to do a little work on Trey's square body. We started off with just replacing the U-joint because I knew that was bad, but he was complaining about the clutch acting funny. And when I drove it, it seemed like it still worked, but he took me for a drive again and it wasn't working very good. It was making a bunch of noise. So now we got a pile of greasy parts here. His transmission, his clutch was going out. Throwout bearing was mangled in there. Clutch looks a little burned. I don't know if the clutch was really that bad or if it's just the throwout bearing that was causing the trouble, but we got all the parts. We're going to replace it all and put her back together. So I've been lacking time on the 55 lately, but we're back at it this afternoon. And where we left off, we were cleaning this little bit of adhesive off the lid up here. And I kind of took care of this little corner right here. Spraying a little bit of acetone up there. It softens up that adhesive a little bit, and then I'm scraping it and then just hitting her with the wire wheel. Moose is wanting to be part of the action. So we're going to try to get that cleaned up today, get her ready to spray. So that's where we're at. Follow along. So here we are after a little bit of scrapey and a little bit of wire wheel action. It's pretty good. There's a couple, basically spots where it looks like there's still some adhesive there, but it's pretty flat. So anyways, I'm gonna hit her with 80 grit and then probably some hand sanding down along these edges. And then we have another mess to clean up. Every time I clean up a mess, I just make another one. Well, it's another day out here in the Montana garage. Unfortunately, it's not the next day. It's like a week later again. Life gets in the way of building hot rods, as we all know. But we're back out here today, so let's take a peek where we left off. Working on the 55, we were getting this, the inside of the lid all cleaned up. And the last thing I did, I kind of had to quit kind of abruptly last week to take care of some other stuff, but I was hitting this with some 80 grit on DA, so that's pretty good. I'm still going to, you know, take some Scotch-Brite or just some hand sand, some 80 grit along these edges. I was able to get it, but you can't get right next to the edges, and we'll probably Scotch-Brite or something, all these little braces, and just kind of go around and do a quick touch-up on everything. And then a couple people were commenting that maybe I should go ahead and weld these little guys in. I still don't know if I'm going to, but I might set up the welder and buzz in a couple of them, just see how long it takes. And it's not that hard to do, I guess, so maybe I'll weld those shut. But you guys have seen me do all that kind of stuff before, so I'm probably gonna get ready to end this video. But before we end it, I know I promised we would talk about the DD Speed Shop 57 Chevy, so here we go. So what's the dealio with the DD Speed Shop 57 Chevy? Well, I don't have it yet. It's still in Canada. Dan has it somewhere in storage, hopefully kept safe. I'm sure kept safe. And just waiting for me to figure out what the heck I'm doing to get it here. Yeah, so when I first won it, you know, the border is closed, has been closed, is still closed. Commercial traffic can go across, but you can't go across for personal reasons, or if you do, you have to quarantine and all this stuff. So basically I can't go across the border to get it. And so originally Dan had a guy that he said he thought could get it across the border, and then I would just meet up there somewhere this side of the border, you know, do a presto changeo, grab the car and drive it home, tow it home, whatever I had to do depending on the weather and whatnot. Well, And also Dan said he was in no hurry. I would like to have the car right away, obviously, but I was in no hurry really either, due to the fact that just I've been busy with work all winter. My son plays hockey, so you know, every other weekend we had hockey games, or most weekends we had hockey games. And so anyways, we just kind of let it sit on the back burner. Dan said he had it in storage, no big deal, no rush. And so as things kind of wrapped up with hockey and I got a little time, I started contacting Dan again. And I kind of planned on just picking a weekend and meeting his guy at the border and, you know, grabbing the car. Well, it turns out his guy either is unwilling or unable or not interested in helping. So that kind of left me kind of back to square one, where I got to figure out how to get the car across the border. And like I said, I did some research. I can't go get it. There are some limited reasons why a guy can cross the border right now. You know, if it's for business purposes, they say you may be able to go across the border. I filled out this little questionnaire and it says you should be able to go across the border. But you know, that's kind of like fudging the limits there. Like, yeah, I could say this is for business. It's my YouTube business. You know, I don't know if it's really a business. So I don't want to get clear up there. And then they said it's to the discretion of the trooper or the border agent. So I don't want to go clear up there, even though it says when I fill the questionnaire out that I should be able to cross the border, and have the guy say, nah, this is BS. You're not going across. So plan B or plan 2 or 3 or 12 or whatever plan I'm on is I have to just basically find somebody that can transport the car across the border. So I've been doing some research, calling some trucking companies and whatnot, and I found a couple. Well, there's, I mean, a bunch of them that'll do it. There's a bunch that won't do it because of the border stuff, but so I found a couple companies that are interested in doing it. It just cost a little bit more money than I thought it was going to cost. So it's going to be a couple $1,000 to get a free car from Winnipeg, Manitoba here to the Montana garage. But that's probably what I'm going to have to do. Not a huge deal. I mean, the car is definitely worth that. So, you know, it's not like I'm going to lose money on the deal, but I still got to come up with that money. And the only place I can get the money is right out of the budget for this guy, which I really don't have a budget for it anyways. But I was going to try to order some suspension parts soon, front suspension. And so now if I do the, you know, pay to have the 57 Chevy brought here, this is going to have to wait a little bit longer. So what do you do? So that's the plan. So I guess one thing I'll say is the car is not really for sale. I really want to get the car. I really want to do what I said in the first video when I want it. I want to drive the wheels off it. I want to share it. I want everybody to be able, you know, not everybody, but lots of people that I know, I want them to be able to enjoy it and experience an old hot rod. And then, you know, what I do with it in the future, turn it into a 2-door, leave it a 4-door, pass it on to my son, use it as a giveaway car. That's all kind of still up in the air. So I still want to get the car. I still want to do all that. But this whole border crossing thing it's just kind of a hassle and, you know, a bit more of an issue than I thought it was going to be. So, like I said, the car's not for sale, but really everything's for sale. You know what I mean? So if there's somebody out there that's either already in Canada or somebody that isn't worried about the border crossing issue, has a handle on it, knows what to do, isn't worried about that little bit of expense, you know, hit me up, leave a comment, or I'll put my email in the description of this video so you could do it more private, I guess, if you want to, I don't know, make me an offer. Like I said, I'm not excited to sell the car. I don't want to sell the car, but I also don't really want to come up with that money to get the car across the border. So my plan is to come up with the money and get the car here, but if somebody wants it more than I do, hit me up, shoot me a realistic number that you really want to offer for the car, and you know, we can talk a little bit. So yeah, that's the plan. You know, barring somebody saying they're going to give me a bunch of money for it, then hopefully here in the next couple weeks I will get this trucking thing all lined up, and we will get the car here to the Montana garage. And when it does show up, definitely I will have some content of it arriving, and hopefully, you know, smoky burnouts, whatever changes we make to the car, and then we'll have a series of what we do with the car and other people enjoying it and all that good stuff like we planned in the beginning. So stick around, stay tuned, come back here to the Montana garage, and you'll find out what's happening.